Okay, hello. I think a lot of things have evolved on APItoolkit. I'm just gonna do a quick, run through of some. We now have like a more flexible time picking experience, and we've rolled out support for logs. And what that means is you can actually send your general application logs to APItoolkit using OpenTelemetry. And we're actively working on supporting OpenTelemetry traces as well, and eventually in the next months would also support OpenTelemetry metrics. But at the moment you can send your logs and soon the traces. For the logs, the experience is just as you've known it. You can search by anything in your logs. For example, maybe I can add let's search by this field. So now we've just filtered by post, and let's add one of these responses as a column. Yeah, so we can add this as a column. So this experience is work very nicely right for now. So let me remove this column just because it's too much. We've also improvements into this query experience, so it's a lot nicer. And when you're searching for things like the request body, we're able to preload some of the popular fields in your payloads, so you can preload them and search by them. And this would work for the regular logs as well. So if you are doing structured logging, you would be able to search by any nested JSON field within your structured logs. And also modify this, of course. So yeah, this, of course, you can switch this, and you can still get into the code mode if you wish. So you can always use the editor, or if you prefer to learn the actual query language, you get more flexibility. So there's been a lot of improvement here. On the API testing side of things, you can already see that this experience is way different. But for any of the tests, we have a test editor where you can design. It's a multi-step API test, right? So you can hit an endpoint, get assets based on the responses, and then you can even use the response from this, maybe the previous step, when you are designing the next request. For example, I could say maybe one of the parameters should be key, and I want to use a value from here, so I have to just let's say this value. So I can export status, and I can say this should be $.response .status, and then I can access it in here. $.exports .status, and this will become a key in this. But in any case, we have this fairly flexible test builder. You don't have to use the editor. We also have a YAML representation of your test, which you can copy and run locally using the test kit open source project, which we also built and maintain. So you can run this locally on your own continuous integration. And you can schedule this test to run at an interval. So for example, every 10 minutes. And here we see some of the test runs. You can see which ones succeeded and which ones failed.